perfect lead in.
Oh, wow.
to that, especially when you're down one or two of your high usage players and you're still figuring out how to play sans them. How valuable is it to have this time in order to sort through all that and go through it?
It's invaluable to be able to have these days, to be able to go through practice, to look at the different combination of guys that are on the floor, the things that we need to clean up from some of these games that we haven't been able to do. One, because we haven't been in this building, and the games have been just coming fast and furious. But that's why this group has been so good, because our coaches are doing such a great job of teaching, not being able to be on the floor, but through film and individual sessions.
You just mentioned it a little bit there, but do you feel it when you guys are on the road for as much as you guys have been this season? Is that something you guys can feel when you're in the moment, or you just kind of trudge through that?
No, you're aware of it, but you don't want to harp on it, because I think you really just have to focus on keeping the group together and in the right space, and studying the game and focus on the game that's coming up next. I think that's what this group has done. They've been able to focus on the job at hand, but continue to also keep the right perspective in where we are.
Yesterday marked 6 weeks since Paolo was diagnosed with a oblique injury. Where is he, and was he able to practice today, or what has he been able to do?
He was not able to practice. He's doing the same ball handling, light movement on the floor, and then just trying to find ways to get the cardio up without applying too much pressure. But again, he's just slowly moving his way to touching the court.
The fact that you guys are home for the rest of the month, regardless of whenever he does exactly return, how beneficial is it to be in this building, to be around your own facility for him and Franz and the rest of these guys?
That's the beauty of this facility. I mean, our ability to recover the right way, get everything that we need here, and these guys find their rhythm and their routine within being home. I think it's going to be invaluable for us to be here for this stretch of time.
You guys have got a couple guys dealing with hamstring issues as well. How's Jonathan doing, first of all?
Jonathan was good. He was able to go through practice today. I know you guys saw Gary going through a little bit of movement to see what he's able to do. But guys are responding well, and then we'll just have to take it more day to day to see how they respond from these treatments and going through a little bit of the practice.
Since Wendell came back at the end of November, and you've been playing him at the 4, what have been kind of the challenges of him kind of adjusting to that role within the offense, and how do you think he's performed so far?
I think he's done a very good job. I think that it's a difference for him, but I think he's doing a great job of finding the right reads, finding the right matchups, different situations. But he's got such a high basketball IQ, and he's reading and reacting off of, obviously Goga being at the 5 in these moments. But he's doing a very good job of understanding what we need from him. And as he gets more comfortable there, I think it'll work out, a lot cleaner. But again, we've talked about different combinations at different times. He moves from the 4 to the 5 in different situations, so he's got to be able to adjust, and he's done a great job of it.
And in a league that seems to be going for more mobile kind of power, more like non-traditional power forwards, and more like kind of power forwards like the Paolo types or the Franz types. How much of a curveball has it been to throw a 2 big lineup and be able to kind of lock down the team the way that Dell and Goga can?
Well, I think it speaks to the versatility of this group. You think when Paolo first went down, we had Tristan in there because Dell was not available. And then now you're able to throw another big out there that is just as versatile, that can guard 1 through 4, 1 through 5, ultimately being able to switch. So it speaks to the versatility of the group and the IQ of these guys and the work ethic of our coaches as well as the players to understand exactly what they need to do on any given night, depending on how we change the rotation or the roster. Thank you all.
Adjusting to life after playing with one of your high usage players, how valuable is it to have these practice sessions to really go over things and help make adjustments for how you play going forward?
I think it's a good thing for us to finally get back in the gym. I think this is probably one of our first practices since we kind of got going at the preseason. So I think this is a good thing, especially like you said, with 2 of our high usage guys going down, finding ways to be effective still on the offensive end and continue to do what we're doing defensively.
You guys have played the most games and the most road games in the league by a handful of games. Not just to have practice, but to have a couple days off. Does that put things in perspective for you? And how is this time valuable for you guys at this point, maybe a third of the way through the season?
It feels good. I didn't know we played the most away games. I guess it kind of makes sense, though. We haven't been home that much, but No, I think just us being home, sleeping on our own bed, having this time off to kind of regroup, get your mind, body back together. Having 2 games in 10 days, I think that's probably the first time in my career that that's ever happened. So I think it's just a good opportunity for us to just get ourselves together, get our, like I said before, mind, body, spirit feeling right, and just to be at home for these next couple of games, especially against the type of teams we're about to be playing, pretty tough teams, pretty good teams in this league. So it'll be a good test for us and a great opportunity with 2 of our best guys out just for everyone to just step up.
Everyone's had to kind of find the lineups and find the fits with this group. But one of the things you guys have been trying is having you and Goga play together, you and Mo play together. What's been the adjustment for you coming back from your injury, playing kind of the 4 again instead of the 5 somewhere?
It's tough. I'm more used to crashing the glass, being around the rim a lot more, being in the pick and rolls a lot more, but being at the 4, it's a little different for me. Learning how to stay spaced, not cutting, not clogging the paint. Sometimes it's tough because sometimes I feel like you're not doing anything, but guys who actually know basketball, watch basketball, understand that the more you're spaced, the more you give driving lanes for your teammates, and just being prepared to shoot every time you catch the ball or make the next play if needed.
Without the practice time to work on it, are you surprised at how smoothly that transition seems going? At least statistically, it seems like it's working.
Yeah, I do watch a lot of film. That's one thing I do a lot on my spare time. So when I knew that when Franz went out, and knew that me and Goga would be playing together, or even when I came back while P was out, playing the 4, I just watched a lot of P's tape, kind of how he spaces, where he goes to, in transition, and then just started watching a lot of other 4s in the league, just kind of how they are effective, and guys that can play the 5 that just know how to space, when to get into the action, when to let your teammates create the action. It's tough, it's different, but I'm also a basketball head. I understand what it takes. Just watch a little film and you'll figure it out for sure.
For you personally, it's been 2-3 weeks since you came back. How are you feeling physically, and how are you? I mean, playing a new role, but how are you feeling? Kind of reintegrating with the group and kind of finding your group.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I just was talking to some of the other coaches. I'm definitely starting to get my swag back. The first couple of games was tough. I was even telling them I felt like I was just out there floating a little bit, trying to figure out my way a little bit. I'm definitely starting to get my swag, my confidence, my feel for the game back, especially after the last game. I definitely started to feel a lot better. Just mentally, just being more engaged, understanding the game a little bit more. I'm definitely starting to get back to my old self for sure. I'm definitely feeling it for sure.
When you kind of reflect on the first third of the season or so, obviously you guys have had so many guys in and out, but have really kind of emphasized maintaining their standard and still playing the same way no matter who's on the court. You guys look at this first third of the season or so, how would you assess the way you guys have done?
I think we've done a fantastic job of adjusting. Like you said, P went down early, I went down early, I came back, Franz went out. It's just hard. Once you get used to a certain style of play, it's hard to kind of switch things up, especially in this league with such great talents that you go against every night. But it just gives a lot of credit to this team, the how we prepare for each game, how we prepare for practice, what we do after practice. You guys still in here getting up shots, the shots they know they'll get in the game. Just the small things. It just shows that this team cares, and they're willing to do whatever they can to help this team be successful. So it just makes it so much easier when you got a group of guys that are all on the same page.
Not that you want to rest on your laurels at this point, but now knowing that the number of games you played in a short amount of time, all the adjustments you've had to make, do you look back? Do you kind of think about these first 27 games or so and say, we've really done a lot. We've really held this ship steady through all the turbulences.
Yeah, I mean that's the nature of it. As a human, we understand. 2 of our best players are out. We understand it's going to make the games. We got to find different ways to win. The Phoenix game, we found a way to win. The Bucks game, we had a chance to win down the stretch. Like, as long as we can continue to keep that standard, when those guys come back, I don't think there'll be any team in this league that'll be able to play with us. So I think it's a blessing in disguise that those guys went out. Of course, we don't want anyone ever getting hurt. But it just gives us something to kind of feed off of, something to kind of put all our eggs in a basket to where when them guys come back, they're stepping into a group of guys that are, they're locked and loaded. Everybody knows what's going on. So when they come back in, it'll just be like a cakewalk for them.
Thanks, Wendell.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
Players, or in this case, two here, usage players. How valuable is it to have a practice session to go over different lineups and different things as you try to figure this thing out?
Honestly, mentality hasn't really been Franz and Paulo are out, and now everything is bad. It's more another day of good work, lock in, focus, continue to get better, put your focus on the good things, and we can all play basketball. They'll figure their stuff out, and we hope they get back soon. But good stuff happens when you put your energy there, and I think nobody's putting their head down or anything, and just continues to work.
You guys have been on the road the most so far this season. To be home, not just get practice but have some time off and be home, what does that do for you guys a third of the way through? I'm
super excited. I unpacked my stuff first day, made myself homey. First time in my career that I'm home for 3 weeks straight. I'm going to enjoy that a little bit, obviously, have family for the holidays, and can't forget life along this journey. It's important too, mental peace. Come in here, be focused, and then go away and live your life, and it's a big part.
You talked a little bit about, it's not necessarily the mentality of missing one or two players throughout this first whole kind of third of the season. You guys have missed a few players, but still kind of maintain the same kind of standard as to what you guys want to meet on the court. How have you guys been able to maintain that, and what does that say about your guys' group to be able to do that?
Honestly, I don't really care. To be honest with you, I just really enjoy it, being around the guys. Obviously, we've always said this is a great group of guys, very talented, very young. Doesn't overthink it, has an identity that's on the defensive side of the things, and we want to continue to get better. And this is also a great time for opportunity for other people, to step up, find their way in this league, and I think the energy is predominantly positive, and everything else doesn't matter.
You've played with Wendell at various times throughout your time here. Wendell playing now a little bit before. You've had some lineups with him. What's kind of been the advantage of those lineups? In a league that seems to be going a little bit smaller, you guys going with two bigs. What's been the advantage that you guys have had with those groups?
We always have two bigs on the floor. J.I., P, crashing the glass, rebounding. Obviously, nothing. We don't really lose anything defensively because we can move legs, be versatile defensively, at the same time add some physicality. It's amazing, and it's a big advantage that we're very deep and have the opportunity to bring out different lineups.
You talked about the team's ability to kind of adapt, when some key players are out. What does it say? What does it say about the team that even without practice time, maybe work on some things or kind of iron out some things, that you guys have still been able to be effective with maybe some lineups that haven't really played together very much?
Well, it's obviously great coaching too, being intentional about what we're doing in film sessions and shoot-arounds, walkthroughs, all that stuff. And then a great group of guys that wants to continue to get better, that doesn't feel like they've been somewhere, want to go somewhere. And I think that's the mentality, and you'll see that in the results.
The documentary on you and your brother came out. What are your thoughts on that? Have you watched some of it, or?
I can't see it anymore, obviously, because we've been very involved in the making of. It's obviously a very emotional process, not always easy. But you tell me what you think of it. I mean, that's the part.
It seems pretty good. I've watched a bit of it.
It's a little mean because it's obviously predominantly German, but that's kind of the market we went for, just because we want to grow basketball and the human side of athletes in Germany, and it's a small piece of that. And it's been a pretty cool project. That was a lot of fun with a lot of cool people on our side, and we hope that people like it. Thank you guys.
Thank you.